begin here at 10 with that breaking news of a pregnant woman shot and killed. Very bizarre circumstances and a horrific crime scene. The killer left behind hundreds of dollars in cash on the body. Let's get right to CBS 2's Jermont Terry live at police headquarters for us tonight. Jermont.
Joe, as detectives work to find out who shot, then dumped this woman's body on the street, the family and friends of this 21-year-old are distraught, not just by how she died, but they say this person also killed her unborn child. Chicago police roped off the intersection of Laramie and Montana. They were called to the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood for shots fired. Officers arrived to find a woman bleeding in the crosswalk.
My heart is broken in pieces.
Family and close friends identified the woman as 21-year-old Genesis Escobar.
She was also 7 months pregnant with a baby girl.
Iris Alvarez tells me Escobar came to visit Alvarez's daughter at this building around 1 Monday afternoon.
She texted my daughter and told my daughter, please help me, I'm in trouble. But my daughter was sleeping.
She and her daughter were awakened by 4 gunshots.
Looked out the window and seen that the vehicle, someone opened the driver door, walked around the vehicle, pulled the body out and threw it on the floor and drove off.
But before dumping the woman on the ground, witnesses say the driver pulled out cash.
They threw a bunch of money on top of her.
What does that represent in your opinion?
I don't know if she was into some kind of trouble.
When Alvarez's daughter rushed downstairs, she discovered her best friend gasping for air. Crews rushed Escobar to the ER.
When we got to the hospital, unfortunately, the baby was not able to be saved.
Friends say Escobar was looking forward to being a first-time mother. Family and friends can't understand why anyone would shoot a pregnant woman.
I don't care how much trouble you're in. I feel that for a person to do that to someone doesn't have a heart.
Now, while this crime appears to be targeted, Chicago police do not have a motive, nor do they have anyone in custody tonight. Reporting live at police headquarters, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News. Joe?
Such a sad story, Jermont. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now to a breaking news update. Police are looking for the shooter who killed a pregnant woman and then left her body in the middle of the street.
And now Chicago police are telling us that pregnant woman was allegedly trying to rob a driver when she was shot. Just disturbing details in this story as it unfolds. CBS 2's Asal Rezai live at the 25th District Police Station with more about what happened here.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Very unusual and devastating circumstances surrounding this shooting. Police say that the shooter took off, leaving hundreds of dollars in cash on that victim's body. The victim, 21-year-old and 7 months pregnant, was shot multiple times after getting into a car, and police saying demanding money. We're told shots were fired both from outside of the car and from people inside of the car. In this video, you can see a big crime scene. This is near Laramie and Montana around 1 o'clock yesterday. Family and friends identifying her as 21-year-old Genesis Escobar. The shooting apparently happened near a family friend's home. They tell us they found Escobar shot in the street after hearing at least 4 gunshots.
They threw a bunch of money on top of her.
What does that represent in your opinion?
I don't know if she was into some kind of trouble.
Now, we do know the shooter took off in an unknown car. The woman and her unborn baby unfortunately died at the hospital. Right now, police say they are investigating and no one is in custody. I'm reporting from the 25th District Police Station, Asal Rezai, CBS 2 News.
When they say the streets don't love nobody, there's absolutely no exceptions. What up, though? It's your ace Popalot. We in Illinois, so you know we headed to the city. Y'all meet us in the Belmont-Cragen section. Now, before I start, I have to say this is by far one of the saddest stories that I had to cover, and some of the details are just heartbreaking and nothing less short of a tragedy. But the crazy and sad thing at the same time is if you spend any time in the streets, nothing seems to surprise you. And like a lot of tragic situations, some we have covered, there's always lessons to be learned from them. Now today, I'm going to try to do my best to tell you guys the story of a 21-year-old female by the name of Genesis Escobar. And based on all my research, it seems like Genesis, who was also 7 months pregnant, was pretty much a child in the process of converting to adulthood. And just like a lot of people that came with struggles, as the Chicago Sun-Times would report that she had a lengthy arrest record, the Sun-Times would state that she would be placed on probation for a misdemeanor battery conviction. They also say that she was under indictment for a stolen motor vehicle. She would also have charges of retail theft and drug possession that was dropped in the past. And based on that, even though she should have been, it don't seem like she was no stranger to the streets. Now, I don't know if it was her upbringing, her parents, or her surroundings, but it seems like some of the people around her failed her. Now, according to Iris Alvarez, Genesis Escobar had been visiting her daughter at about 1 p.m. on a Monday in early March of 2023. Now, according to Alvarez, minutes after Genesis Escobar would leave from that visit, she would text her daughter, "Please help me, I'm in trouble." She would never receive that text, as according to the friend's mother, she had fallen asleep. And according to multiple sources, it would be right outside of that apartment building where a series of mysterious events would begin to play out. Initial news reports would show a 21-year-old pregnant female had been shot, but as the news would develop, they would say that she would be shot in a robbery plot. And by the end of the day, the Toronto Sun would publish an article titled "Pregnant Chicago Woman Who Tried to Rob Drug Gang Shot to Death." But it seems like the more news headlines you read on it, the more questions you begin to have. And just like a lot of females that end up going down the wrong path, a man would emerge in the story. In a situation that the cops explain as a botched robbery, it sounds like she was placed in a situation where she shouldn't have been. A law enforcement source would say that in a scheme with her boyfriend, the 21-year-old Genesis Escobar would get into a car to allegedly rob someone during a drug deal, and things would go all wrong. The incident would go down on the 5200 block of West Montana Street, and according to the Chicago Sun-Times, a person only described as Escobar's boyfriend. So we're unsure if this is the father of her child or just a dude that she was seeing at the time. But apparently he had been on the outside of a vehicle trying to rob someone on the other end of a drug deal. And this is where it really gets shaky because not a lot of details was provided. But somehow she would find herself in the vehicle of the person that they was said to be robbing, it sounds like. So I'm not sure if she was used as bait. But during the course of this alleged botched robbery, gunshots would be exchanged. And during the course of the shootout, Genesis Escobar would be shot in the hand, the shoulder, as well as the back. Some reports would say that she would stumble out the car. Other reports would say that she would be pushed out of the car. Now, in an act that seems ridiculous and kind of starts the mystery for me, it was said that the individual she attempted to rob would throw hundreds of dollars on top of her body. Some reports even had the person suspected as her boyfriend snatching some of the money and running off while she was being shot. One of the more recent articles the Chicago Sun-Times published about the incident, titled "Pregnant Woman's Boyfriend Left Her for Dead After Botched Robbery." Though it's a mystery, they probably explained what happened best, saying after she was shot, she would tumble out the car as the alleged victim of the robbery and suspected shooter would flee, sending money flying out the window. So depending on what kind of drug deal this was or what process they was in a drug deal, if the money was out there and he took off, we could see a situation where that could send some of that money flying out of the car. Because when you initially read 21-year-old pregnant woman killed during attempted robbery and robber throws money on the body, I'm like, man, this shit ain't The Godfather. What the hell? You ain't gonna kill nobody over money they try to rob you over and then throw it on them. What type of shit is that? Snowfall power type shit? But to be honest, even the specific details of this robbery just seem small because shit like this is going on everywhere. And I don't really got no slogans, but anybody that's hip to this channel, one thing I would say over and over is this is education and not glorification. So I really want to say to the females, but really to the guys too, because it's y'all that got sisters and got daughters. And though life's hard and we don't know exactly what type of situation Genesis Escobar was in, but it's never really cool to put a pregnant girlfriend, pregnant mom, or probably even a pregnant female into a botched robbery situation. And I don't really know if it's just me, but I come from a different time and a different code. And on some shit like a robbery, nigga, you could do that shit yourself, man. And to put yours in the front line, nah, we ain't doing that. And if y'all watching this, I hope y'all able to take the lesson from it. Now, y'all please let me know if I'm tripping. I know we determined that it's really no rules and beef and shit like that no more, but are the rules out of play with shit like this? Y'all make sure y'all hit the red subscribe button and that bell right under this video so y'all know when this real Trill Spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box flooded up. Definitely want to know what y'all think about this situation. Am I all wrong? Because y'all know I ain't afraid to admit it. I'm just going to stand on my principles. Y'all make sure y'all get at me directly on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And I'm going to be back before you know it. You know how we do it. Shit got Popalot. Whole lot of mob business.